"Here it is," said the third voice, and the owner of it held the lantern up and revealed the face of young Dr. Robertson. Potter and Injun Joe were carrying a hard barrow with a rope and a couple of shovels on it. They cast down their load and began to open the grave. The doctor put the lantern at the head of the grave and came and sat down with his back against one of the elm trees. He was so close the boys could have touched him. "Hurry, men," he said in a low voice. "The moon might come out at any moment." They growled in response and went on digging. For some time there was no noise but the grunting sound of the shovels discharging their freight of mold and grave. It was very monotonous. Finally, a spade trunk upon the coffin with a dull woody accent, and within another minute or two, the men had hoisted it out on the ground. They peered off the lid with their shovels, got out the body, and dumped it rudely on the ground. The moon drifted from behind the clouds and exposed the pallid face. The barrow was got ready and the corpse placed on it, covered with a blanket and bound to its place with the rope. Potter took a large spring knife and cut off the dangling end of the rope and then said, "Now the cursed thing ready, Sawbones, and you'll just out with other 5, or here she stays." "Look here, what does this mean?" said the doctor. "You required your pay in advance, and I've paid you." "Yes, and you've done more than that," said Injun Joe, approaching the doctor, who was now standing. "5 years ago you drove me away from my father's kitchen one night when I came to ask for something to eat, and you said I weren't there for any good, and when I swore I'd get even with you if it took 100 years, your father had me jailed for a vagrant. Did you think I forget? The Injun blood ain't in for nothing, and now I got you, and you got to settle. You know." He was threatening the doctor with his fist, and his face was by this time. The doctor struck out suddenly and stretched the ruffian on the ground. Potter dropped his knife and exclaimed, "Here now, you don't hit my part." And the next moment he had grabbed with the doctor, and they were struggling with might and main, trampling the grass and tearing the ground with their heels. Injun Joe sprang to his feet with his flaming with passion, snatched up Potter's knife, and went creeping cat-like and snooping around and around, but the cabinet sneaking and importuning all at once. The doctor flung himself free, seized the heavy headboard of William's grave, and felled Potter to the earth with it, and in the same instant the half-breed saw his chance and drove the knife into the hilt in Potter, flooding him with his blood, and in the same moment the clouds bolted out with dreadful spectacle, and the 2 frightened boys went speeding away in the dark.